Hey everybody, this is Steve from PopCultureMaven.com. We're back with this week's new. Wait, this is not new comic. No. That's a different video for later in the week. This is a special video because this Saturday, August 14th, 2021, is Free Comic Book Day. Now, normally Free Comic Book Day is usually the last Saturday in May that usually ties in to a superhero movie. Most of the time it's Marvel, but it usually ties in either that weekend or the weekend before. And so Free Comic Book Day has been tied to that, more in more recent years because of the advent of superhero movies. This year celebrates the 20th year that they have been doing free comics. Now, last year, obviously with the pandemic, Free Comic Day kind of really got thrown a monkey wrench. Now, there still was Free Comic Book Day, but what they did, and this was actually a really wise choice because of the pandemic, that they spread it over like a 4-week period. So instead of all the books coming out at the same time on a specific day, they send them to retailers in batches, and so retailers put out like 1/4 of the books each week, and they usually put them out on New Comic Book Day. They were allowed to kind of do whatever it was up to each individual shop, but most of them put them out on New Comic Book Day. That way it wasn't the rush of people because of the pandemic. Now this year we obviously still have the pandemic going on, but we're going to try to have Free Comic Book Day. So this year, this is the first year I've done this particular video for this. So we have a total of a whopping total of 45 comic books that are released now. Thankfully, and these are all courtesy of Pulp Fiction Comics Long Beach. And I got an early chance to review them and kind of look over. Now, there were a few books that were missing. Now, whether I could not find them in the boxes or they forgot to get ordered, but I will say, okay, these are the ones that I did not get to see. The Archie Past, Present, and Future. Fun. There is the Trailer Park Boys, Allergic, Adventure of the Bailey School Kids Vampires. Vampires Don't Wear Polka Dots. On Tyranny, the Overstreet Guide, 10 Tons of Fun preview, and Life is Strange. So those ones I didn't unfortunately get a chance to check out. So what I've done is I've broken them down into categories, not by but so the first batch we'll go through will be the stuff that's just full reprints. That's all they are. They're reprints of either full issues or partial issues, or maybe they're and some of them are in the case of a sampler of multiple. So we'll kind of go through these really quick. Now I'm going to do this old school. I'm not going to pop up the pictures because there's a ton of there's 45 books to kind of get through. So but I'll just kind of pop them up. So there's the AWA Upshot that's got a preview for three titles in it. That one's actually that one I think is worth getting because they're really good books. One of the ones that's just a reprint, but it's going to be probably a pretty hot book is Something is Killing the Children, which is a reprint of one of the issues. And once again, if you haven't been reading, that's a really one to check out. There's a Last Kids on Earth. That one is that a reprint. Then we have a reprint of the first issue of The Boys Hero-gasm. Hold it a little closer. Then we have Tress reprint. We have Vampirella. There's pretty much always a Vampirella every year. Then we have Slowly Leveling. One of the anime books or manga books that came out this year. Then we have Kyle's Little Sister. And then finally, Lady Machina. which is also a reprint. So those are the reprints this year of the ones that are just reprints. They don't include actually any new stories. So now we'll go to the second category, and I'm gonna save the best for last, because I'll save all the ones that have actual new material in them. Now, the next batch is going to be books that contain previews. So it may be per se, it might be something new, but it's like kind of a preview of something that's coming out. But most of these are like graphic novels. So first up, we have fortunately we got these today, so we're able to include them. We have there's a flip book of the young adult line over at DC. So we have Batman, Robin, and Howard. Damian goes back to school. It's actually really charming, and it's done by Jeffrey Brown, who you probably know, who did the Jedi Academy and Space Time. He's done a bunch of those books. And it's also flip book. On the other side, it's Amethyst, which is a new, both these are not quite out yet. I think the Batman and Robin and Howard might be out really soon, but the Amethyst is a little later. So that one's really good. I'm a really big fan of DC's young kids and young adult line. So going along with that, we have for the young adult, we have the Beast Boy Loves Raven, and so that one I believe is already out, but it's a good preview for the young adult. And both these, I'll point out that in the back of each one, they do have like a I'll cover my face. It shows you all the books that are available in the line. These are really good books, and they're really top talent. So those ones, especially if you have kids, I think they're good, especially younger kids, for the flip book, because it just gives you a sample of what's going to be in those. So then we have Kaboom's Just Beyond, which is a preview of a graphic novel coming from them. Now this one, I'm not quite sure if it's a preview or a first issue. It's Free Comic Book Day list is a preview, so I'm not quite sure. That's Bountiful Garden. They mark it as number 1, so I'm not quite sure, and it says to be continued in number 2, so we'll see that. That was actually pretty decent. Then we have White Ash from Scout Comics. That was actually pretty good. That one was a pretty nice surprise. This one was actually really, really charming, but it's adult, but it's not too bad. Tales of Growing Up. It's basically about this girl who is kind of she's just a young and let me make sure I get a page where she's not doing anything. I really like the artwork, and the story was really just damn funny. So I actually really enjoyed that. So if it's definitely more adult, more mature oriented, but you might want to check that one out. And then we have from Tokyo Pop, there's two preview of Assassin's Creed comics that they put out. This is done in the manga style, so for manga fans or fans of the game, you might want to check it out. So then we have Judge Dredd from Titan Comics. Now I believe I'm not sure. The first story may be a new one. It's hard to say, but either way, there's 3 short stories in here. Three Judge Dredd stories. Those are always good. This one was really interesting. Who sparked the Montgomery bus boycott? This is kind of a would be a true life it's about Rosa Parks. So it's really interesting, and it's a graphic novel that's coming out. So that's really interesting. But once again, it's a preview, so it only gives you an example. Then we have Captain Harlock, which the first 2 issues have actually been quite good. So if you've been interested in checking that book out, it's a really good chance. It actually includes a good majority of the first issues, so I'd say it's a preview, but almost the whole issue. Then there's going to be 2 Star Wars titles. The first one is from Viz. It's the manga version of Star Wars High Republic. So you can see it's got the manga artwork. That one, if you're a Star Wars fan, it's worth checking out. It wasn't too bad. I actually enjoyed it. Then we have something Unfinished Corner, which I'm not quite sure. It's from Wonderbound. Actually, I found it. It's a young adult graphic novel. It's actually, the artwork's really nice. It was a decent read. One that was really charming was Investigators. There's just something funny about this. Obviously, this one is Ants in Our Pants sneak preview. So, once again, it's definitely a kids oriented book, but it was actually a lot of fun. I've never read those, so that was interesting. Then we have Zom 100 from Viz Media and Shonen Jump. So it's kind of a sampler of some manga books that Viz puts out. So that's always good for the manga fans out there. And then we also have Rent a Girlfriend, another manga title that's out this year. That's actually once that's Kodansha put that one out. NMB put out Dungeon is Back. I'm not sure if this is based on a board game or something, but it was kind of okay. I found the artwork kind of charming, so that was kind of neat. And then finally, this one was actually kind of neat because it does have a reprint and everything. There's a Zorro comic from who is it from? American Mythology Productions. That one was kind of interesting, and you just don't seem there was a news story, and then there was a sample of a news story, then there was a reprint, and then there was also a preview. Don McGregor's actually writing a new Zorro book, so that'll be kind of interesting. So we have saved the I wouldn't say the best for last. I would just say we saved the new for the last. So if you've been waiting for this, then you're in luck. I'm finally to them. So we'll take a little more time on these because they do have new stuff, and a lot of people are going to be looking for these. So first up we have Marvel's Avengers. That includes an Avengers story. So there's two stories in here. There is so there's the Avengers. That's it's by Jason Aaron and Iban Shello, and then we have the Hulk by new writer Donny Cates and Ryan Ottley. So the Avengers actually is really, the artwork's actually pretty nice. The story was pretty decent. But I think the big draw is going to be obviously the Hulk story, because it's the new team that's going to be taking over the book, and of course Ryan Ottley is mostly known for Invincible, and it was actually a pretty decent read. I actually I thought it was interesting, and I think it's a good choice because it gives you a sample. It's a news story, it's a little short story, but it gives you an idea of maybe what he's going to do in the Hulk. So Marvel's other book is Spider-Man and Venom. So half of it's Spider-Man and the other half is Venom. Now, the Venom Donny Cates run just wrapped up, but the first story is about the new Spider-Man that's going to be taking over in issue 75. So just a little preview of that. And that one is Zeb Wells and Patrick Gleason. Zeb Wells writing, Patrick Gleason doing the artwork. And then the Venom, we have Ram V and Al Ewing doing the writing, and then Brian Hitch is doing the artwork. So you can see it's really, Brian Hitch hasn't done a book in a while, so that was interesting. I think the Spider-Man was interesting. It was a tease. The Venom was kind of, I think the thing with the Venom is it kind of follows after King of Black. So if you hadn't been reading that, I wouldn't say you're lost, but you're kind of like, okay, why is Venom flying around in space? I don't know. I didn't read King of Black. But anyways, so that's Marvel's offering. And once again, those are all new stories. So, and of course, I mean, they're leading into issues that are coming out. So it's kind of a preview, so to kind of give you a taste if you want to pick up those books when they come out. Next up, we have Suicide Squad King Shark. Yes, and timed very well with the movie. So it does have this is a new King Shark story. And as you can see, it doesn't hold back, because why? King Shark, he just ate somebody. So this is a preview. I think there's a King Shark special coming out, so I think this is what leads into it. But this is all new story. It was Tim Seeley's writing it with Scott Collins doing the artwork, and it's actually really nice. The other one, the back half is a reprint of the first issue that came out this last week of Suicide Squad Get Joker. So if you missed that, you can kind of, if you pick this up, you can see it's written by Brian Azzilio and really nice artwork by Alex Melvey. So that, the King Shark story was actually kind of really kind of fun. Obviously, we all love King Shark now. So if it's the same team doing that special, there's a special coming out with him, I would say, definitely pick this up because it leads into it. Next up, we have DC's Batman free comic book day. So there's 2 stories in here. There's the first one that is written by James Tynion IV with artwork by George Jimenez that's leading into the Fear State. So this, as you can see, the artwork's absolutely gorgeous. So this leads into that storyline that's going to be kicking off, I think, in the next issue of Batman. And then we have John Ridley and Travis Foreman doing I Am Batman. So this is Jace, who is going to be another Batman in Gotham. And as you can see, he's like Bat Cop or Batto Cop. I don't know. It's like RoboCop, but he's Batman. So that gets kicked off. Actually, this week is the first 0 issue, so this leads into that. So those are the big ones from the 2 big ones. Then we have Dark Horse has got 2. There's Mighty Men's Origin, which was actually pretty good. It also has a Witcher story, but this first story was actually really quite good. I like the artwork; it was nice. And the Witcher story was actually quite amusing. I've never played the video game, but it's based on the video game, and it was really, and the art was nice and everything. It was that was really interesting because it's something not necessarily in my wheelhouse but that's a lot of the point of free comic book day is it gives you a chance to kind of check things out. Next up, we have a Legend of Korra. And then there is also an Avatar Last Airbender story in here too. So once again, nice short stories, kind of gives you a taste of what the books are like because Dark Horse has been doing these for quite a while. Actually, the second story was really, really charming. I don't want to give it away, but it was a really sweet story. Both of them are quite good. I've never I still got to catch up with Avatar and the Legend of Korra, but as far as the comics and stuff, Dark Horse is they've been putting a lot of them out. Now here, the next one's probably out of all the ones, I think this one's going to be one of the big hot books. And that is the free comic book day, Stray Dogs. So what this is, so it does have a new story. It actually has a prologue to the series. So if you've been reading the series, you want to pick this up because there's a prologue that sets up the story, which I won't give away. But then it also actually reprints the first issue. So you're getting the prologue and the first issue in this free comic book day. And of course, it's got a new cover. But I think that this one's going to be a really hot one because that book has been super hot, and it's actually really good because I know it's obviously sold really well, but the trade's coming out in September. And that's really going to be this is really going to be get people excited about that. Next up we have IDW. They've got their Star Wars because they do the all ages versions of Star Wars, and they're doing there's a High Republic story which actually has pretty nice artwork. I actually, and the story was fine. It was a nice short story. And then there's actually a preview of their High Republic Adventures, and it had nice artwork, and it's more of a preview. But if you're looking for Star Wars, especially if you got kids, you can always either Star Wars books is actually really good. I think they're both good. Then we have another one that I think a lot of people are really gonna like, especially a lot of kids are gonna be excited because they love Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog has always been popular. Archie used to have it. Now IDW has it, and There's just this was really a cute story. It was really, I mean, we've all, I think, played a Sonic game at one time in our life. That was really a cute story, and and then the second one, both stories were actually a lot of fun. And of course, the artwork's actually really nice. I was actually pretty impressed with it. So, and he's having his 30th anniversary. So, you have Free Comic Book Day and a comic to go with it. It's a pretty good deal because it's free. Next up, we have from Aftershock, we have We Live. This series has been pretty hot. So this is We Live the Last Days. So this follows a group of three boys who are on Earth after most everybody has left or died. And so this is once again, I think it's a good introduction. It does all the right things. The artwork's really, really nice. Same team, the Miranda brothers, doing this book. And it's really, I think it's good because a lot of people missed out on this book. And I think this is really, because I know the trade of the first story arc is already out. Hopefully your comic shop will have it. And there's also a preview, and it's been in some of the other books, for their first young adult book, something Rainbow Bridge, which actually really has nice artwork. I really, this looks really good. I saw a preview in another one, and it looks really fun. And of course, it's got a corgi, so you can't lose with that. And of course, Coca-Cola is one of the sponsors, big sponsor for Free Comic Book Day this year. Ani always does some really good stuff, and this year they've got a 4-pack. They've got 4 of their books. Of course, for me, Jonah and the Impossible Monsters, but these are all new stories. So it's got Jonah and the Impossible Monsters, Mooncakes, which is new. We have the Tea Dragon Tapestry, and then Spirit and the Gardener. So both of these are all new short stories from their creators. I know that the Tea Dragon the graphic novels are really, really popular, and the artwork is just absolutely gorgeous. And then, of course, I'm a really big fan of Jonah and the Impossible. Chris Samnee and his wife are doing that book, and it's really good story. Great all ages book. So that one I was already sold on. The Spirit and the Gardener was actually, I really love this artwork. This artwork was absolutely gorgeous. This is really a good looking book. I am really interested to see, once again, it was a really, really smart story. And then Mooncakes, once again, nice art, cute little short story. They actually packed a lot. This one is actually, I think, one you should really look out for, because you get 4 stories in this. They're all new. And it was just really good. Once again, good all ages book. Now this one is definitely more in the mature end, but we have the Vampires the Masquerade from Vault Comics. Now vampires are always, you can't go wrong with vampires. This was actually an interesting story. It was written by Tim Seeley, who also wrote the King Shark story, and drawn by Dimale Premack, and it was really interesting. So it takes place in Missouri, and there's kind of 2 fractions of vampires, and it appears that there is, some sort of battle coming between them. The artwork's actually pretty nice. It was actually pretty decent. And the story was actually pretty good. Vault's really been putting out some interesting stuff. Then we have Valiant. They've got their sampler this year, the Free Comic Book Day 2021. I will say that the first story, I was really, really kind of underwhelmed with the artwork. I mean, it wasn't bad. It was just kind of like, I don't know. The story was kind of okay too. None of these stories really blew my mind. I mean, there's the Ninja Jack, which was that, and then there's Exo Man of War. It was okay. I mean, if you're a fan of the Valiant books, they're okay. Nothing in there overtly impressed me. But I know there's people who are fans of Valiant, and once again, these are all new stories. So, I always appreciate, even if I'm not a fan of it, hey, I got a chance to check it out, and, maybe, there might be something worth checking out sometimes. Then we have, from Udon, we have Street Fighter. This is their back to school special, so this is all new. If you're a fan of the video game, this or manga in general, the artwork's actually really nice. I really will say the artwork's really nice in this. And it was a fun little story, and I think that's the big key is, have a story that's actually a lot of fun. Then we have Smurf Tales. You can't go wrong with Smurf Tales. This is the actual the original foreign stuff that's translated to English by Peyo, the creator of, and so it's it's technically reprints, but it's new. None of these particular stories have been done in the U.S. And this was actually a really nice double page spread in the center. Once again, I mean, most people are familiar with the Smurfs, the animated, the Hanna-Barbera, but the comics are actually really quite interesting and kind of similar but very different. I'd say, they're definitely all ages, but they're not, they're kid friendly, but not necessarily aimed at kids. Black Mask has a double batch. They have Black and Cali X. So this has Black is a new series. That was actually quite interesting. I like the artwork, and I actually liked that it was black and white. It was an interesting setup to the story. Now I had read Cal Exit. Which basically Cal Exit is California. It becomes like its own country. And it was actually, this was actually a good story, really nice artwork. I know that the first storyline is available in trade paperback, and there's a new, they're going to have a new series. So both these are short stories that lead into their books. So that'd be worth checking out. I think if you're looking for something a little more in the mature, mature end, definitely check those out. Then we have Gloomhaven from Source Point Print, which is based on an RPG game of the same name. It was kind of okay. The art was kind of okay, and it was just kind of like a so-so story. It was kind of like a typical, kind of a Lord of the Rings type. It was okay, but if you're a fan of Gloomhaven, the game, maybe, it might be more up your alley. This one was really interesting. I was really surprised when this was announced. Red Room from Fantagraphics. Now, obviously, the regular book is extremely, it's pretty violent stuff. So what this is, it's basically, it gives you an idea of what the book is about, but it does, and there are some reprints, but it doesn't have any of the gore in it. So it's everything but minus the gore in some respects. But I think the really interesting thing is there's like a little kid's version of basically the Red Room, which is kind of like hilarious. It's kind of like as if Peanuts was done, by Ed Piskor. I guess that's the best way I could describe it. But yeah, there's pinups and stuff. I would say, because a lot of people have, this has been a really quite a big book for Fantagraphics, and it's extremely violent. But I think this gives you an idea without, the gore and stuff. So if you've been, kind of interested in checking this out, this is your chance because you can get it for free. So next up we have from what is it? Paper Cuts. School for Extraterrestrial Girls. This was actually kind of interesting. I mean, obviously there's the homage to The Breakfast Club on the cover, which is, kind of nice for a free comic book day. So what it is so there is people that have aliens that have come to Earth that, have blended in, but now it's not so much they're separating, but like the younger ones, like, maybe they the one girl was actually kidnapped, so she's here. So they have the school that's up in, like the Antarctic or something like that. But it's actually it's really interesting because the school is actually in like a here you can see it. It's like in a, so like down there, it's actually the weather's nice and everything. So they're gonna kind of learn their powers. The art was kind of okay. I wasn't necessarily overwhelmed with the art, but the story was actually pretty decent. It was something, I wouldn't say it was amazingly different, but it wasn't too bad. So it was kind of interesting. I'd say it fits into the young adult thing, kind of zone. And finally, we have Blade Runner from Titan Comics. So there's two Blade Runner stories. There's the 2023 story and then the origin story. They're separate stories, but they have different characters in them, but it's all in the same Blade Runner universe. This was actually interesting because these, even though the stories were kind of separate, here's the first one. They actually tie together in kind of a strange way. This has been kind of interesting. I've read a couple of the miniseries from these, and the artwork is, the story and the artwork is actually pretty good. And if you've been looking for, a chance, because there's a number of them that are already out. So this is, if you kind of want to check them out. So I would say, really, for me, there was a lot of good stuff this year. I would have also, because apparently the Archie comic that I sadly didn't get to read apparently has new stuff in it, and I'm sure it's just kind of classic Archie. But those are always fun. That's there's a lot of books, and once again, the one thing I want to reiterate is, even though these are free, comic stores still have to pay. They pay a small fee for them. The publishers, put most of the costs, but the retailers do have to pay for these. So the important thing I must say is, if you go to a comic book store for this Saturday for Free Comic Book Day, please buy some regular comics, buy some graphic novels, buy some toys, buy, whatever they have, if something interests you. And also, get to know your local comic shop. This is a really good time, because this is kind of an outreach program for people that, don't go on a regular basis. And I know another thing, I really want to give a big shout out to my comic shop, Pulp Fiction Long Beach. And I also want to point out that their sister store, they're related in name only, Pulp Fiction Culver City, they will be doing a Free Comic Book Day. Both stores do work with the local food banks. In the case of the Long Beach store, they work with the Long Beach Rescue Mission, where they take in canned goods and non-perishables for the pantries. They also accept cash donations, which they, all that money goes directly. They just give it to the them, and they actually appreciate money more than, they appreciate food donation. They appreciate any donations. But the Long Beach Rescue Mission, they take that money and they buy things that, people need. Maybe they need clothes and things like that. Now, once again, I'm not sure what where the donations for the Culver City store, but they do the same thing. They find a local charity, usually a mission or food bank. They collect food, they collect money, and especially this has been really, last couple years have been very tough, and so that's one way they give back to their communities, which is great. But once again, I really want to reiterate, the comic stores actually have to buy these. They're not free for them. They do this as kind of a public service to, get people to read. And the other thing I really want to point out is, if you have kids, you make sure you take them to Free Comic Day. Because in a lot of ways, this is really what it's kind of about: getting people excited about comics, getting new readers into comics. And there's, once again, I think there's books for all ages, and that's what's really great. All the publishers make, there's a good swath of books from, very young readers to mature readers. So there's something for everyone. So please support your local comic shop. And so anyways, hopefully you will all have a great Free Comic Book Day. Hopefully all the stores out there will do well. And once again, especially since there might be quite a few people, please be safe. Please wear your mask. Not only for your protection, but for protection of others, especially because there's kids out there and they can't get vaccinated. If you've had a chance to get vaccinated, that will help too. So just be safe and be kind and support your local comic shop, because that's really what Free Comic Book Day is all about, is helping your local comic shop get the word out to how great comics are. So this is Steven from Pop Culture Maven. I hope you all have a great Free Comic Book Day, no matter where you are in the world, because this is also a worldwide event. So please be safe and take care of yourselves, and get a bunch of free comics and support your local comic shop. All right, take care. Bye-bye.